All right. Hello again, Patriots. It's not very often that I do back-to-back videos like this, but something was sent to me basically as I was making the other video and hung up. It is still downloading, and so because it's going to be a longer video, this video might download even quicker and actually post. So if you're watching this and you haven't already watched the other video, it's a little bit longer and more of my summation of things that have recently happened from a historical perspective. But in that, before I could get out the door, I received a text from someone who I love, someone who I respect, and someone who I believe in. And that combination is difficult to find in today's world. But our youngest son, Logan, delivers on all three in such a fantastic manner. So I'm going to read to you what he sent. He titles it Thought Dumping. And I agree with everything he has here. I think I'm eager to see what happens in the next couple of days. And yes, I am too. And I've said on this channel over and over again, we've had 4 years. What's another 10 days? We need to wait and see, because in 10 days, if the things don't happen that we are hoping happens, then we know that we have a longer fight. And even if it did, we know that we have to fight correctly for the right reasons. So he says, I think I'm eager to see what happens in the next couple of days, because I don't like being lied to, and I'm going to feel lied to. And I think you should feel lied to too, if the mass arrests, etc., don't happen. And for the record, I don't think the constitutional process has failed, which is why I really don't want to see any revolution happen. The American experiment continues even in a Democratic-controlled Congress. Culture has more to say. I want to be a man of principles. And so my beliefs and my perspective ought to be defined by my principles, not the hearsay of others. So my answer to the question, what should we do now, is automatically going to, and if I'm consistent, uphold the sanctity of life, be pro-Constitution, anti-violence, etc. I want to see conservatism and classical liberal ideals flourish, but any authoritarian action is going to squash both, even if it is a self-identified conservative wielding that authority. I think our principled conservative Christians' focus needs to be on a worldview analysis and cultural engagement. We need more ballads. Lawmakers, or even the behind-the-curtain operatives you might want to cast blame at, cannot hold a candle to the intellectual, emotional, and mental superiority of the Christian conservative worldview that is flourishing. There are a lot of battles and fires going on all sorts of hills. All I'm saying is I know the one I believe is worth dying on, and it doesn't have a party flag in stone, because parties change. And it is content to let go of Trump because Trump served the principles don't serve Trump. That's my son. His words, and I am proud. I am blessed. All of our kids, we are blessed beyond what we deserve. And that is one example. There is so much truth in that. I hope that you who are watching this can see it. I get a little emotional and overwhelmed, and I can only think that it's the Holy Spirit just reminding me of everything that has been done for me. One of the, again, I mentioned it earlier video that I got into some focus on the family. I disagreed with some of what these doctors were saying and almost the tone and the suggestion that they were making. But I've also found myself not just looking for the political things, but really looking to both motivational and some real biblically based videos. Lion of Judah has been a good one, I think. Pastor John Hagee, man, what a voice. What a voice. What a message. There's also a question I just want to follow up on about martial law, and in the last video, I don't think I did a very good job of completing my thoughts. If I had to put money on it again, I don't think anything's going to happen. And so if I had to put money on it again, I do believe, I agree with Logan, that I am going to feel lied to, and I'm going to be disappointed. And I don't want to see martial law. I don't want to see any more restrictions on any of us. I also do not believe we are going to see a revolution anytime soon. And to quote Bill Bonner, it's because revolutions do not occur when the stock market is an all-time high. Your supply chains are still operating at 90+%. There's food on the shelves at every supermarket, and there is gas at every gas station. All of the big box stores have stuff for you to go and buy, and there's money being printed at a pace unseen before by human beings. That's not when revolutions take place. Blood in the street occurs and revolutions take place when there are no other options. When those of us who feel like a system has just denied our representation, and this term, disenfranchise. We have not experienced, it's been little by little by little, and yes, I'm feeling disenfranchised. I hope we do not see widespread martial law. But I'm going to take the time right now to tell you what's coming. This is not my opinion. There is a great financial reset that's about to take place. There is a social credit score and the monitoring of every single human being that has one of these devices, which is going to be everybody. And what does that mean? I just think it is accelerating the end times. So much of what was written in the Bible, again, never been proven incorrect. Greatest book ever written. Truth. I know that the acceleration of these end times and things happen for a time, a reason. Part of that is how we get our information and what we do believe in. And like as Logan said, I want to be a person based on real principles, things that are unchanging, a foundation from which to stand and share this true conservative Christian worldview. We need to continue to talk. This is part of the challenge. The limited or soft martial law that we've experienced already, the fact that we can't get together in public settings to be able to share ideas. The attempt to be able to eliminate worship together. The attempt to be able to, well, and they have for the most part, according to the health department, we can't possibly eat indoors. We can't, well, if you eat outdoors, it's got to be in a bubble and you can't share ideas with people. I just think back in Illinois, and to the extent that this pandemic has taught us that it's just about control, it's not about health. But when that governor was talking about, well, you can have 4 people in a boat, but if you've got a family of 5, somebody's not going fishing today. And we're okay with that? We're not okay with that. That doesn't mean we go out violently into the streets. But guess what? Most of the people that I know and associate with, we're not violent. We truly are mostly peaceful protests. When they tell you and the rest of the world that the violent protests on the Michigan Capitol in Lansing with their long guns, Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg, Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo, Morning Joe, cop cars aren't burned, buildings aren't looted, people are not shot to death, as in other protests. Now, again, I'm going to say it one more time. The death of the police officer, the death of the Air Force veteran, and there were 2 others apparently, those are tragedies. You went to something one day, you thought it was going to be fun, it was going to be exciting, you want to be part of a movement, and you didn't come home to your family. I do not want to see any more martial law, which is what we have in these Democratic-run states and cities. It's a very oppressive, authoritarian thumb being driven down on the citizenry of each of these states and cities. And I do not want to see more martial law. But guess what? The left in the media is telling you that's what Trump's going to do before he leaves office and become a military dictator. But they've never once been critical of the martial law, the soft martial law, still the exercise of control unconstitutionally against the citizens of the Democratic-run states and cities. I got to get out there. We're going to go add value to a bunch of people's day. We're going to be productive. We're going to go work because that's what we do. I hope you enjoy a great day. We're going to work on James Detroit on the website. We're going to be doing some other things, probably leaving YouTube at some point. I gotta figure this thing out, and I need some help, and I've got a good team around me, and I just need to take the time. We need to take the time away from, quote unquote, the little things that we're doing. You know the term? Tyranny of the urgent. It's always been there. And it's a very powerful force. Hey, listen, have a great day. Continue to pray. I am James Detroit, and for now, I'm out.